Webinar will commence in 60 seconds. Important to note the following. All participants will be on mute throughout the webinar so that you don't get feedback through the speakers. The 10 minutes Q&A will be at the end of the webinar. Send in your questions via the chat window shown in the interface. Hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today in this webinar. My name is Vivek Tom Raj and I'm part of Ramco's Aviation Solution Advisory team. Today, I will be giving you a glimpse into the advanced features in Ramco's Mechanic Anywhere app that can accelerate mechanics performance and increase operational efficiency. I will showcase digital task cards, electronic sign-offs, AI/ML assisted non-routine write-ups, and an interesting feature to collaborate remotely at work. So let's begin. Ramco Aviation Solution is an end-to-end ERP serving all segments of aviation like airlines, heliops, MROs, charters, defense, and OEMs. The solution can be deployed on cloud or on-premise, offering a complete solution to the aviation industry. With over 20 years of experience, Ramco brings the best practices and implementation methodologies to the table. The breadth and depth of the solution makes it a preferred choice by the leaders in the industry to digitally transform their business. In addition to the core platform, there are numerous enterprise add-ons like mobility that can radically transform the way an ERP is used in a challenging industry like aviation. Ramco's mobile suite of apps consists of the following. Warehouse Anywhere to help an inventory administrator or a warehouse operator to manage all activities in a warehouse through a mobile device. Mechanic Anywhere, which we will see in detail today, is to help a mechanic working on an aircraft, an engine, or a component view task assignments, record snags, refer task cards, perform work compliance, request parts, or any other activities for maintaining the asset. Customer Anywhere to enable customers of an MRO to view work progress, approve codes, request parts, or make payments. Approve Anywhere to fast track the review and approval process where the senior management can approve or reject a request or an order or any such transaction that require a workflow. Line Anywhere is again for mechanics, but in an offline mode that can work in the absence of internet connectivity. It's widely used by line MROs and specialty operators. Fly Anywhere is the electronic flight bag to help a pilot record journey details, perform pre and post inspection checks, calculate weight and balance, or view weather and navigation. Fly Anywhere also works offline in the absence of internet connectivity. Crew Anywhere to record crew duty, review messages like NOTAMs, calculate risk assessment, and review duty limitations. Tool Anywhere to manage all activities of a tool crib in a mobile device. And finally, Manage Anywhere and Audit Anywhere, which are currently under development for reviewing company operational statistics and perform quality audits in a mobile device. All these apps are infused with the latest technologies like machine learning, facial recognition, geo fencing, multilingual capabilities, etc., to bring the best out of each of these apps. Ramco is one of the pioneers to develop mobile apps for aviation ERP, and the robustness is reflected in multiple customer sites across the world where these apps are deployed. One such example is that of Panasonic Avionics, who went live with Ramco Aviation in all their 64 line stations and 7 repair stations across 28 countries. More than 1,000 mechanics access the offline mobile app every day to perform their day-to-day activities. Panasonic has significantly reduced the turnaround times and improved operational efficiency using Ramco's mobile suite of apps. Few more examples of mobility deployment includes Republic Airways, Boeing, NetJets, Cobham, Air Evac, A+, Papillon Helicopters, Life Flight Network, and ATAC. All these and many more customers are using one or more apps from the Mobility Suite. What makes Ramco's mobile suite different from others is that the technology used to build these apps can be used to deploy the mobile suite on top of any other ERP systems or homegrown systems, making it platform agnostic. So while you have your decade-old ERP running in the background, Ramco's mobile suite can give a facelift to your overall IT landscape without having to completely revamp what's existing. Now, let's get into the Mechanic Anywhere app and see how it helps a mechanic in his day-to-day activities. I am playing the role of a mechanic where my supervisor or planning controller assign tasks for execution. Mechanic Anywhere pushes these assignments as notification, intimating me of tasks that are ready for execution. You can see that a new task CM24-02 on tail number 81886 is assigned to me for execution. To view the task, simply click on the notification and it takes me to the Mechanic Anywhere app. Tasks assigned to me will appear in a calendar view where I can pick the corresponding work for the respective day. It's a very intuitive way of depicting work assignments, saving a good amount of time in picking assigned tasks and getting into action. On selecting any task from the calendar, the task information is displayed with the link to navigate to the task card. This screen shows the detailed information for the task where I can perform all related activities in a single screen. I can report time automatically by clicking on the time icon, where Ramco will automatically start the clock for me. I can use the same to pause time during breaks or stop time once a work is completed. Ramco keeps track of the time breaks and the total time is accumulated after the task is completed. Right now, we are seeing the subtasks, which are the step-by-step process to perform a task. I can view the task instruction in the Task Instruction tab, where the task cards are displayed in a format that is known to me for ages. These task cards can be used to capture readings, record execution comments, or sign off. The color coding on the sign off boxes indicate if it's a mechanic, inspector, or an RAI. These task cards can also have internal or external references. One such example is on row number 5, where there is a reference to an internal document maintained in Ramco's document portal. Moreover, we can also maintain reference to a video file that can be launched and viewed from the Mechanic Anywhere app. What you are viewing is a video launched from the app that can be used as a reference during maintenance. Now, I will sign off a task electronically by checking the mechanic checkbox against the task in the digital task card. The dual authentication sign off box pops up, mandating to enter the PIN and password. As soon as I enter the PIN and password, it's authenticated and Ramco places a stamp as an indicator that the task is signed off. Now let's look at the other functions typically carried out during maintenance. A discrepancy, if found, can be reported against a task by accessing the discrepancy section. The non-routine card creation is automated by using machine learning to suggest the most probable list of discrepancies related to this task. In this example, I am reporting a dent on the rotor blade, and as soon as I start typing, machine learning starts recommending the probable list of discrepancies. Machine learning can suggest corrective actions, part requirements, sign off requirements, or identify it as a repeated defect. I can either close or defer the discrepancy using the action. I can also take pictures and attach them against the discrepancy. In order to request parts for maintenance, I will access the part request section. Here, I will first request the seal that's suggested by Ramco as per the task requirement. The integrated supply chain module immediately adds a green icon informing me that the part is available in store for pickup. I would also require a sealant as an additional part to perform this task, so I go ahead and order it as a direct entry. Using Smart Search, I can pick up the sealant part number from the list. I will order 3 quantities of it and add the part to the cart. However, you can see that using machine learning, Ramco is suggesting a few frequently ordered parts together for this task. So I place the order for the damper and the sealant together. Now the integrated supply chain adds an amber icon informing me that those parts are not available in stores for pickup. Material request is submitted and I will be notified when all the parts are ready for pickup. Let's return to task details. I can also initiate a part replacement by removing the unserviceable and installing the serviceable in one go. Removed part details can be keyed in manually or selected from the aircraft configuration. I will select the disposition as return, the reason for removal as a defect, and enter the removal remarks for my repair administrator. I can also add pictures of my removed item. To install the serviceable item, I will key in the part number, the serial number, and enable the auto issue toggle. Auto issue is a feature as part of Ramco's straight through processing technology that's widely used by lean operators who give inventory access to mechanics. This simple yet powerful feature reduces the number of steps taken for a mechanic to install a part and still have all the traceability documents generated in the background. I will mark the return as FOD and generate the return document. The part is now electronically returned to the unserviceable warehouse. I can generate the electronic tag with pre-filled information like aircraft number, removal details, removed station, reason for removal, and all the details that are required, and can be directly attached to the removed part without any manual data entry. The tag can be printed directly to a printer that's configured to this iPad. Let's return to task details and look at an interesting feature to collaborate remotely. It's quite common to seek assistance from our colleagues or supervisors on various aspects of maintenance. Usually, we rely on a phone call, WhatsApp, or email and try to connect through external sources. But in Mechanic Anywhere, we can initiate a live chat without having to go out of the context. I am initiating a chat within this document, and there are quite a few features it offers. I can take pictures, or attach a picture from the gallery. I am now attaching a picture of a delamination found on the blade. Another feature is to open up the whiteboard and discuss collaboratively over the picture. I can draw on the whiteboard, which can be seen live by my colleague, and he too can respond by drawing on the same picture. I save the file and share for reference. I can also share my screen if I have to present something on the task card or some other document so that my colleague can see what we are discussing about. But the coolest feature I like is the ability to video chat within the app. This makes it very easy to see each other in real time, share the experience, discuss on topics, and make it easy to collaborate. You can see that I'm chatting with my friend Josh in real time so that he can see it live and give his inputs on the topic. Now in this example, I do not have any active users on this document, but that doesn't stop me from getting help. I will go to the employee locator and see who can help me with this document. By clicking on the work package, Ramco filters out the employees who has the right skills and certification to work on that package. I notice that Danny is at the nearest proximity and I ask if he could help. We discuss over the whiteboard by annotating over the picture, which also helps Danny identify other snags that can result in a different corrective action. I share that image, which gets archived automatically, and the conversation is preserved for any future audits. I thank Danny for his support and advise him to stay safe, especially during this time. With the inputs I got from Danny, I go back to the task card and perform the required action like report a discrepancy, request replacement parts, or go ahead and replace the rotor blades itself by the ways I've demonstrated before. Now that I've completed the task, I can attach more pictures, upload documents, or sign off to record compliance. I see my stamp and employee code on the mechanic block, and now I will stop the clock that I started in the beginning. My timesheet is computed automatically and added to this work package. Mechanic Anywhere app also supports other activities like recording electronic logbook, lookup for historical tasks, discrepancies, part replacements, material requests, and more based on the access rights provided to the user. And here is the premiere of what's being released in the latest version. Execution Document Card is a new feature in Mechanic Anywhere that will showcase KPIs in a graphical view. These cards are to help a senior mechanic or a supervisor on the floor have a quick view of the overall progress of the work package. There are three cards to start with. The first one is work status. It shows the percentage completion of work package along with the reality check on the targeted completion date. It also shows the elapsed time, work completion, and worked hours, one below the other. Any work execution delays like execution hold, pending estimates, pending quote approvals will also be shown here. Next is a timeline of important dates. It shows the current stage and a projection into future impacted dates. And finally, the cost details card that gives a summary of the total cost of the work package as well as a split up of materials, labor, resources, external repair, services, and others. These cards are controlled based on access rights provided to the role and hence will be visible to only those users who has the access rights assigned by the admin. Since Mechanic Anywhere has been in production use for close to 7 years, we are able to publish measured KPIs from our customers. One such analysis is from a large line MRO in Asia who carries out more than 500 checks a day across 5 different stations. The company serves more than 15 customers like Singapore Airlines, Cebu Pacific, Malaysian Airlines, etc. And the study shows a significant increase in revenue and profitability year on year after implementing Ramco. The increase in revenue and profitability is directly attributed to the time saved at work execution and overall operations. With Ramco, they were able to reduce the average transit check time by 10 minutes and material availability waiting time by another 15 minutes, since a mechanic does not have to run to the store to verify part availability. Real time approvals are done using collaborate features and an overall increase in efficiency by minimizing manual coding and easily converting the tasks completed to cash. At Ramco, we believe that every 5 minutes makes a difference and continue to innovate to infuse new technologies and offer a technologically superior product to our customers. With Ramco, our customers have digitally transformed their business, helping them streamline operations, improve efficiency, and do more work with existing available resources. I hope this session helped you understand the key features in Ramco's Mechanic Anywhere app. Let's now look at the questions. So the first question that we have here, the first question of the day that we have was about the dual signatures and two-factor authentication. So do you use dual signature or two-factor authentication? If digital signature, is it required to buy e-signature or token, etc., for each employee in the company? So the answer to the first part is that yes, we use a dual authentication mechanism to authenticate the digital signature. The dual authentication can be configured as a PIN or a password or both. And other systems that they've implemented at customer bases include a smart card or a one-time authentication through a mobile device. So those are the form factors that we have applied in enabling the digital signatures. Now, to use digital signatures, there are no additional tokens or no special packages that you need to buy from Ramco. As soon as you license at an employee level, the employee comes with a digital signature enabled product. So you don't have to buy anything extra for that, and it's part of the package itself. So that's the one first question that we had. Um, Another question is about the regulatory approval for e-sign off. Yeah, I think this is a similar question to the digital signatures before. So yes, we have been certified. Our customers were able to certify from FAA for dual authentication. The customers that I explained in the slides beginning. So they have successfully certified the process with FAA, and that included looking at the document which is the AC 120-78, acceptance and use of the electronic signatures. So all the clauses in that document were verified and supported within Ramco. And also supports we also support the e-forms. That's for the the ARCs. We support it through the Spec 2000 Chapter 16, and that's the way we support for the e-signatures with the regulatory authorities. We have another question on the stations. It's about the internet availability. So, can the apps be used at stations where the internet is low? Yes, absolutely, because this the app that we showcase today is capable of supporting offline functionalities as well. In fact, I was telling you about um, Panasonic, right? Panasonic, one of the largest in-flight entertainment MROs in the world. So they use our offline app to maintain all their line maintenance across 68 line stations around the world. So the mechanic carries his iPad, takes it to the aircraft, does his maintenance, comes back to the main base, and syncs up without any manual work involved. Before Ramco, they were doing all this in pen and paper because internet connectivity was very low. We do have other customers also who uses the offline app for remote maintenance and not available in the high internet zones. Right. Then another question is on could you explain auto issue feature again? Yeah. So what happens is, so many of our heli operators, right, especially the lean operators, where a mechanic performs the job of the storekeeper as well. There is no two roles. It's the same role who performs maintenance as well as maintain the inventory. Typically, how it works is the mechanic would raise a request, and the pick slip would just print it on the warehouse, and the warehouse coordinator or the administrator would go pick the part, come back to the counter, and then issue to the maintenance. So there are a lot of transactions like an issue, return, request, and time to go back and forth. The auto issue feature, what it does is, it's assuming that the mechanic is the storekeeper. So the mechanic goes to the store, picks up the part, installs on the aircraft, and he comes and records that in the system, saying that, hey, I've used this part number, serial number. And Ramco would generate all those traceability documents in the backend so that the parts are issued in one go. As I showed you in this process flow, as soon as I click on confirm replacement, it sends a request to the warehouse, it picks the serial number out, issues to the aircraft, and attaches to the aircraft. All this happens in that one click. So that's what we call as an auto issue feature. And this is one such feature of a series of straight through processing technologies that we have implemented. So there are a lot of other places like receiving, tech records update, requesting parts, where you can include this the straight through processing feature that can reduce a lot of your manual steps or what a typical ERP would require. Another question is on geo fencing. So the question is, I see that the mechanic's location is being identified. Can it be used to control geo fencing? Yes. So what we have included in all the mobile apps, right? So all these mobile apps, including Mechanic Anywhere, Warehouse Anywhere, Approve Anywhere, all these can be geo fence. What it means is you can set a coordinate of your preferred location. So, for example, if I'm working based out of my hangar in Atlanta, or if my colleague is working out of Seattle, so they can their mobile devices can be pinpointed to a coordinate, the latitude and longitude, and you can set a radius, say 10 miles or say 20 miles from that location, and only if the device is within that location you'll be able to perform the activities. Until then the device becomes locked, or you won't be able to access Ramco or perform any activities. This comes very handy, especially for compliance checks. When an FA audits, the first thing that they ask is, how do you know it's not been done by somebody sitting at home? Or for the warehouse anywhere solution, where there is a solution that can issue and return parts only if the mobile device is within a certain radius of that coordinate. So this technology, the geofencing technology, ensures that even though the solution is mobile, it's not used to the disadvantage that you're not in the location and trying to do something else, but in a controlled manner. So yes, so that was another question. Um, yeah, we have another question from Babcock. Can you please show the screen where the supervisor or technician will check the status of tasks belonging to a work package, the status of them and reasons, that is waiting for materials, etc. See, that is the part that we are releasing. So towards the end of the session, I showed you 3 slides. Those were not live presentation. I mean, I was not showing from my iPad. Those are the things that are coming up in this release that got released just a week ago, so I couldn't record it, in fact. It's called the execution document card. So that's an execution document card. and I'm sure you would get in the next release. I mean, you're already using Ramco, so you would get this feature in the next release where you could see the percentage completion, the status of each task cards, what's the timeline in each of them, even in up to a limit of showing the cost. There were certain customers who came back and said, like, the supervisors on the floor should know what's the cost variance in each of these packages. So they wanted to see the cost variance and try to keep that also with, and definitely with respect to access rights provided to the mechanic. So only if he has a mechanic, or if it's a senior technician or a mechanic, he can see that cost variance as well. So this is coming up in the next release, and we would definitely be rolling out to Babcock as well. The next question is on, can this be used on current tough books that we are using for our mechanics, which can link directly to the fifth generation aircraft to download data? There's one more question below that that's on a similar platform. It's asking, is it available on Android? So yes, so the answer is yes. It's platform agnostic. So what it means is you can deploy it on iOS, Android, or Toughbooks. It's also system agnostic, which it's not just on top of Ramco. It could be top of any other ERP systems or homegrown systems. So basically, it's all connected through the APIs, and you can feed data from any other systems, not just Ramco. So yes, this can be deployed on Toughbooks or any Android devices or any other systems that you currently have, or could be deployed on top of an existing ERP itself. So you don't have to completely buy Ramco and then completely change IT landscape just to enable mobility. It could be a standalone development itself. Um, yeah, a few thank yous and congratulations on developing this app. It says it works. Yeah, thank you so much. I think we're just extending towards the end of the session. I'll take one more session, one more question here. Oh, the question came up. How will the compliance of task card be recorded and show the next due date? So what happens here is when you have a task complied, right? So it's all on real time. Um, the maintenance program would forecast what's due for maintenance. It gets planned and packaged into a work package and assigned to a mechanic or a technician. Now the technician would perform the job. What Ramco does is, as soon as you hit on compliance, if it's offline or online. Let's talk about the online version here. As soon as you hit on compliance or sign off buttons, it syncs back to the main server and then reinitiates the forecast so that the next scheduled date and time is immediately updated and shown to the mechanic there itself. So it means, like, you can verify the next schedule before even you sign off the whole package. That's at the task level sign off that we do. Now if it's an offline app like the one that Panasonic is using, it waits for the sync up to happen. So the mechanic does his work, performs all the tasks, does a media load and all that, or might replace one seat distribution box, comes back to the main base. As soon as they sync up, within seconds, the program's also updated. So which means your compliance doesn't take time to update. As soon as you comply with the task and generate the new due list report or view it on the screen, it's updated with the next due date. So that's how it happens, and this all happens in real time, which means, like, typically what I've seen in other systems or other experiences, that it takes a while, or it waits for the day end to update for everything else. But in Ramco, the journey log, the maintenance programs, and the maintenance actions, which is the compliances, are all synced up together. So the journey log would come in and then feed to the aircraft hours. The maintenance program would forecast it, and the maintenance execution would comply it, which again comes back and reschedules program and then continues with the flight operations program. So that's how that works. There are a few more questions to take, but what I would do is I'll note those questions down. We are almost 5 minutes ahead of, or 6 minutes ahead of the scheduled time. Thank you all for staying back for this session, and hope it was valuable to all of you. And if you need any more information, or if you need to say that we need to see more details about it, please feel free to reach out to any of us. You can use the email on top saying contact@ramco.com, and we'll be more than happy to give you a detailed demo on each of these screens and each of these questions and do a one-on-one session with each one of you. So thanks a lot for staying back. I hope it was helpful for you. Hope you all stay safe and take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Bye bye.